their lives. I'd like to introduce them to you this morning. First, we have Shane Newsom. Shane is here with us. He works at J.C. Penney's. He has a cat named Kitty who greets all of his neighbors when they leave for work and come home for the day. He's been coming to IBC since the winter of 2005. He enjoys working with his computer and riding his motorcycle. And anybody who rides a motorcycle is just okay, right? Okay. Ethan Lawrence, to Shane's left, is a college student, has a dog named Ender. He's been at IBC for 3.5 years. He's involved in a home group and toolbox classes. He loves music, listening to it, writing it, playing it. In fact, Ethan and his brother are starting a rock band and need a bassist. So if anybody wants to audition, you can see Ethan afterwards. Heather Lee Hilsebeck, to Ethan's left. Doesn't have any animals, but is looking for a puppy. So does anybody have a litter? Anybody help Heather out? She's been attending IBC for 4 months, a whopping 4 months. She's involved with Crown Ministries and Alpha. Her hobby is shopping. And you know, Crown Ministry is all about financial faithfulness.
I know, right
And
on.
she says that's why she's in Crown Ministry, because of her hobby.
That's right.
So, Heather, love to have you this morning. So good that you're here. And then Lee Capel. Lee is on our staff here at IBC, was an elder at IBC. He's been married for 27 years. He's been a Christian for many years. But he's here to share his story too. Lee's family has a dog called Chance who is so old that when he stands up, he leans on the furniture. I lean on the furniture too. I think Lee and Jody and their family have been at IBC for 5.5 years. And Lee's been involved in missions organizations and traveling around the world in the name of Christ. But his claim to fame is that once upon a time he was a flight attendant for TWA for a summer job after his sophomore year of college.
Fun.
So we're really proud of you, Lee, for doing that. Okay, I just want you to listen in as we have a conversation. Shane?
Thank you. When I grew up in my family, they weren't very religious at all. My mom died when I was probably a year old, give or take. And I think I was raised by my grandparents, and I think that adjusted for them not believing in God at all because they were taking their child away. So through the years, I had to deal with that. And I became a Christian when I was about 15. My aunt begged and begged and begged for me to go to a local church they have. When those Bible beaters just wouldn't quit talking about it until you're like, fine, I'll go. So we finally went to the church, and they had a big play going on, and one of the actresses was a girl, and she did the youth thing. I was like, wow, she's kind of attractive. I think I'm going to go to this one. So I was there for about a year, and through the year I was watching people, how they interacted with each other and things they did in the name of Christ, and it was very, very discouraging because they would teach one thing and then everybody else would do something completely different. They were very hypocritical. They were very mean to each other. You name it, they probably did it. And my last straw was, I was going to the church. I was 16 on a Sunday. I took the day off from work to go. And I'm 16. I didn't have very nice clothes. And they turned me away because I wasn't dressed in my Sunday best. And I was like, I'm 16. When am I going to have a suit and tie? So
I got some cufflinks.
Yeah, you just got them. I'd be like you. I need a shirt for it too. So after that, at the time I was dating a girl that was an atheist. Her ex-boyfriend was a Satanist, which they talked about. They still talked. And I got one of the Bible for them, the Satanic Bible, and started reading it. And I was amazed how what I thought, at least was a teenager, even still to this day, it's very logical. You know, why would you want to help somebody out or be nice to somebody that's harming you? Or why would you help somebody that's not really going to help themselves? You know, and through that whole journey, I wasn't looking for power or anything else. I was just looking for something I could understand and see how the people were really true. And I did that. And it comes to find out through the whole time, people are very, very intimidated by Satanists because the word Satan most people terrifies them. Because what they think of is, sacrificing kids and sacrificing animals and virgins and all this other stuff. So that became extremely powerful without me knowing. Just being around people hearing it was terrified. I did the masses, when people would ask for something. Hey, Shane, can you help me with this? I'm like, wasn't for me. What can I get for it? I did that until I was about 25. I was working for J.C. Penney's at the time as well. And I ended up being with a group with this guy who's now my best friend, is that when we first started talking, we didn't hit it off very well. We just kind of, snubbed our noses at each other. And I guess he ended up getting a promotion and getting over me. And we were forced to work together. And he was Catholic. And I had no clue at the time. And he would just talk about it. He's like, so you're a Satanist. What do they believe? What is this? What is that? And that was it. And I think one day it finally came out, maybe a few months later, that he said, yeah, I'm Catholic. And I'm like, why didn't you tell me? He was like, how would you react if I told you I was a Catholic? I'd probably just go, great. I'm going to have somebody else preach to me. So through the whole times I would talk about Satanists, and he would look at me and sometimes just shake his head. And finally, I eventually was like, what? Why are you doing this? And he goes, well, because that's not what it means. And this is what it means. It just kept going and going. He was like, you can't look at Christianity how everybody else is. But it's your own journey, your own thing. You do, God will move you where you need to be moved. So that's pretty much how I came to be a Christian. So for that, and through that whole time, I was listening to that. Then Lent came around one time, and I went to God, and I was like, okay, I've hated you so much for what you've done. I'm going to give you a try. I'm like, if you're really real, I'm going to do the Lent, and I'm going to give up something for 40 days. It lasted about 10. But
Join the party.
yes, I know. It was my first time, so I was like, yeah, all right. But after that, even though it seemed like God was like, okay, I really see that you were trying and you really wanted to know. And almost the next day, when I woke up, things in just my eyes were completely different. It was completely different. And then my best friend was like, hey, we're going to go see Passion of the Christ. We're going to extra ticket. You want to go? And I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? Went there. Then after that, it kind of put a realism to me. Face, the name to a face type of thing. And then I went to the car, and that's when I accepted Christ in my life.
Amen.
That's awesome, Shane.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I'm Ethan.